Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Walk the Dog Cinema. We're getting out and about here. It's just got back home from work and getting Roka her walk. It's been a crazy week of weather. Haven't been really able to get any walks in, watch movies, but really haven't gotten to review them or talk about anything. And so Roka's got a little bit of energy here. As you can see, she just wants to get going, cooped up with all the rains going on. And here we are with a movie review talking. I'm still kind of in action mode, doing some another Jackie Chan movie. I'm doing Police Story today, and kind of gonna go over just the basis that any Jackie Chan movie to see, it's either the Legend of Drunken Master or Police Story. The Police Story series is actually pretty cool. There's like four of them in there. But Police Story kind of is a culmination. If you ever seen Rush Hour, you kind of get the gist, but just all, in Hong Kong. But the comedy's kind of all there. The over-the-top action sequences. It's kind of the movie that really was, for me, where Jackie kind of established his persona of it all. He had done some other stuff, like obviously way before this, but this is where the one he kind of broke out of the mold from Lo Wei and being the Bruce Lee acolyte kind of thing, kind of establishing himself. He did direct this movie, so we're gonna talk about Police Story. So, why I picked Police Story, like I said, it's kind of, for me, where Jackie really kind of nailed his persona, kind of nailed the whole Jackie Chan movie formula. This is like a really good one to watch, like I said, besides Legend of Drunken Master. But this is, a modern take where a lot of his other stuff was more period piece. You had some Meals on Wheels, but even then, those were more comedy where he wasn't entirely the star. The other group was. He was doing favors, but this is kind of the phase where he gets into more modern times with things. And this is, he's special forces, police officer, and it's real simple. It's about a drug cartel that he's helping bring down. He gets assigned to protect a witness, to bring down the main drug lord, and all sorts of craziness happens. And the crazy and what's really interesting with the movie, again, it's a must-see for me, especially for an action film. So the other side of it, why I picked it, is there's really, the beginning and ending action sequences, which are absolutely amazing. And it isn't all just like martial arts. The last sequence very much is in a mall, and it probably breaks the most glass of any movie I've ever seen. They just destroy the mall, and they destroy so much glass with bodies flying through glass everywhere in slow motion, fast motion. You got motorcycle being rammed through people with breaking glass, and him doing some crazy falls that literally almost killed him. And obviously he does his own stunts, but I've always admired Jackie in that sense, because he's always been kind of a Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd fan, and it really shows within the silent movie era of that time, his physical comedy in that regard, and just kind of the elegance and how he does his stunts is pretty amazing. But again, the movie opens with just a crazy stunt sequence, and they built this shanty town, and there's a lot of gunplay and some really good cop moments in the setup of the movie. And we get Jackie chasing after the bad guy, but there's these just crazy car stunts that they do, ramming through the buildings and doing these crazy jumps, and they're all actually doing it and destroying the cars. It's a pretty wild sequence, to say the least. It's one of those that kind of opens your eyes and goes, wow, they did that back in Hong Kong back in the day. Of course, they don't have I wouldn't say the safety regulations that we do, but they don't have to deal with insurance and all sorts of other crazy things. So you just kind of didn't see some of that stuff besides maybe Road Warrior, which was done in Australia, right? So it's pretty interesting to see how it's done and filmed, and if you're ever into action movies, to really kind of watch how this unfolds. And it's a great scene. So Jackie catches the main bad guy that the movie sets up, the drug lord guy, and we get it set up that he has to protect the witness. He becomes the kind of hero of the special forces of Hong Kong police, and somehow the guy kind of gets out before he goes to jail. Kind of not necessarily a technicality they're going to do, and he's going to go after the witness, right? So it's a pretty simple setup. And then we really don't get too much of an action sequence. It's more, Willy won't like go after the girl. We get to meet Jackie's girlfriend, and sadly they have kind of weird relationship. I mean, it's played for laughs on one level. To me, it's kind of the weakest part of the movie, but it continues on in all the other 4 sequels. But again, the humor is kind of it's a little bit of slapstick with some kind of British like dry humor with it. So it's funny. There's like stunt work moved into it. Then we get a little fight sequence where he is protecting the witness girl, after this kind of funny sequence where he hires his friend who's on the police force to act like this killer who's trying to kill her, so he can win her trust. And it's a great martial arts sequence, some just brutal stunts with 2 cars and how they're moving in and out of it, and again breaking windshields and bats. And it's a fantastic scene. You get a little bit of a break, more comedy, more setting up, political intrigue where he kind of loses the witness, and he finds out where she is and he goes to rescue her. Quick little action sequence with a jump into a pool that culminates there. And then we get the build to the climax where they're tracking down the witness again, who kind of gets away, but he needs to get the information so he can put the bad guy away for good. And then we get the mall sequence, and the climax is like 15 minutes of just pure crazy martial arts mayhem, and what they do on escalators, and like I said, with just glass and windows and display cases and lights and escalators is just madness, crazy. You have to admire the effort. The directing's top notch, like the editing, it's crisp, it's clean. You see all the action, you get what's going on, and just from a pure modern aesthetic, it's just absolutely amazing how it's done. And from martial arts mayhem, you can really watch the choreography, how it kind of looks. I mean, it just looks natural, unlike a lot of the Shaw Brothers stuff. It is a dance. It is this artistry in motion that I kind of want you to look at, and why it's so neat to watch instead of just pure action. I mean, there's a kind of finesse and art within the art of movie making that's done here that elevates it to something a little bit different for me. And that's why I kind of wanted to touch upon Police Story, because I hadn't seen it in a while. And again, my mind always thinks of it as this high energy, crazy movie, right? And in reality, it only just has 2 huge action sequences and then a couple of small ones. So I think that was kind of the real fascinating thing revisiting this. It still to this day holds up for me. Still one of my favorite of his films. Police Story 2 is awesome. In America, Police Story 3 is Super Cop with Michelle Yeoh, and Police Story 4 was First Strike in America. I don't inherently know if it was in China or not, but that's the quadrilogy of the Police Story movies, and they're all fun in their own way. I know Super Cop kind of gets the hurrah for being the best of the three. Definitely has the crazier stunts, and obviously, when you're teaming Jackie with Michelle, you get some really crazy stuff going on, obviously, and they go all out. But what I like about Police Story is, it's a simple story, done efficiently, and like I said, in your mind, it seemed more action orientated than what it was, and that's kind of a good thing, that it leaves that kind of lasting impression even on our first viewing. So again, take a look at Police Story. It's well worth the watch, and let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and if you like my reviews, please subscribe. Have a good one, everybody.